Be known as the expert. Well, what does that mean? Well, first of all, to be known, you've got to be seen. And when you are seen, it's got to be in a positive light. Well, guess what, folks? Video does that for you.
Originating from deep inside the Rocky Mountains, transported through the power of the internet, and arriving inside your tiny earbuds. It's the Appraiser Coach Podcast.
Minisode.
Technology is constantly changing. I love technology. I'm not one of these that's going to dive into every new thing. Frankly, I don't have time. Second, I don't want to be a guinea pig. But I'll tell you, technology is awesome. And when you can find things that work and work well, it's great. But you know what? You don't have to have crazy out there ideas on technology to be able to truly affect what it is that you do as a real estate appraiser. One of those things you have in your back pocket all the time. I want to talk about that when we get back from the break. I want to pause here and remind you that we are sponsored by ANow software. ANow is the way that I manage my appraisal business. Speaking of technology in my pocket, I've got the app in my pocket all the time on my smartphone. It's anow.com/coach for more information, anow.com/coach. You know, one of the things that as an appraiser coach, I'm teaching appraisers on a constant basis, and a lot of them are interested in not just doing AMC work. They're interested in not just doing the lender work or even the direct lender work, but they want to do non-lender work. And we talk about how to gather and garner that non-lender work. Well, folks, it's no secret. You talk to the big names and you pay big money for these marketing firms, and guess what? They'll all tell you the same thing. Number one, you got to have a presence on the internet. Number two, you got to be active on that presence on the internet. In other words, you not just need to have a website, but you've got to feed the website. You got to be getting ratings. You got to be putting blog posts in there. You got to be changing things. You got to put videos on your website. Folks, those kind of things will help. Here's the deal. I don't fully understand Google, but this much I do know. Fresh content is king when it comes to Google. It used to be your URL name was really important, and what all that meta tags that you would hide in your website, that's the kind of thing would make you pop up. You would hide things, sometimes make words the same color as your background. I know a little bit about this because I designed my own websites years ago, and they were horrible, by the way. I had no talent there at all, but I learned enough by myself to know that if you typed in Idaho Falls Appraiser and you made the text the same color as the background, that the search engines would pick that up and nobody else would see it, right? Now I would do those stupid little tricks. Guess what? Google's smarter than that now. Those things don't work really well. Okay, meta tags might help a little bit, but really what Google is looking for is fresh content, is people that are pinging off your site, meaning they're taking your content and pointing back from their content back to your content. Okay, that stuff is absolutely king if you want to show up on Google. And the other thing that is huge is fresh content, specifically video. Okay, again, I don't pretend to understand all of the ins and outs of Google, but I do know this. Google owns YouTube. Enough said. If you're not on YouTube, if you don't have a YouTube channel, if you're not constantly putting up fresh content, you're going to be hurting, and your competition, folks, is going to be in the face of a potential buyer before you will. I know, Dustin. I can't create a video. I'm no actor. Let me share with you a couple ideas when we get back from the break. I want to pause here and remind you we are sponsored by ANow software. ANow their app is on my phone, and I am constantly checking it. Okay, I'm a little bit obsessed, I'll admit, but I love the fact that I can go to anow.com, even on my browser on my phone, and I can click on the analytics tab, and I can, at a glance, I can know how good our month was last month, how good our week is, how good today is. Just today, I had one of my appraiser assistants message me and say, we got 17 new orders. And I'm like, really? So I jumped on ANow, and sure enough, 17 new orders showing up there. Basically, a new order is something that's come in, but we haven't really done anything with it yet. So it shows up on ANow, but we haven't really started the process. Well, I looked at it, it was, 15 of those were desktops. So, but how would I know that if I didn't have ANow? ANow is the way that you can keep track of everything that happens in your appraisal office, and you can get answers to questions like, we have 17 new orders. What's going on with that? In a flash. Check them out. Go to anow.com/coach. One more time. It's anow.com/coach. All right, folks, we are talking today about how to be seen. A couple things that I teach my mastermind group on a regular basis is in order to do non-lender work, you have to go back to the Marketing 101 class that you had years ago, right? And that class taught you that to be a player in the market, you've got to be known, number one. Number two, you got to be known as the expert, okay? Be known as the expert. Well, what does that mean? Well, first of all, to be known, you've got to be seen. And when you are seen, it's got to be in a positive light. Well, guess what, folks? Video does that for you. If you're not a writer, you don't have to do a blog. Have you heard of these things called vlogs? With a V, V as in violin, L-O-G, vlogs, video blog? Folks, I know some of you are intimidated by that, but check this out, okay? Let me make it easy for you. How often do you go to an appraisal inspection and maybe you meet the borrower, maybe you meet the realtor, maybe you meet some other third party, but they start asking you questions? It happens all the time, right? And not just, hey, what do you think it's going to come in at? I'm talking about, hey, thinking about doing granite in the kitchen here. What do you think? Is that a good idea? Or how come you're taking pictures of chipping, peeling paint, right? It's an awesome opportunity to educate. It's an awesome opportunity for you to basically step back and say, okay, let me explain it to you. It's an opportunity for you to educate, right? Here's the thing, folks. Now, I don't expect that you're going to get your phone out every time someone asks a question, do the whole selfie, stick your arm out and put it on your face and record, right? But what about right after? What about taking that question that you are going to get and immediately after you've left the property, after that person's left or what have you, or maybe even when you get back to the office and it's still on your mind, why not take an opportunity to say, hey, guys, I was just asked by a realtor why I take pictures of chipping, peeling paint. Let me tell you what I told that realtor. And then you spend 2 minutes basically repeating what you've already practiced with the realtor. Okay. Or, hey, I was just in a house and a borrower asked me about granite in their kitchen. Let me tell you a little bit about granite and what it does to the value of your home. Folks, those things only take a few minutes. They're really not that hard to edit. Okay. We have a whole motion picture studio in our pockets when you think about it. Think about technology 50 years ago, okay, when it came to this kind of thing versus what we have in our pockets. And I guarantee this. Go back and watch a movie from the 60s or the 70s, right? And the technology that's there. I guarantee the technology you have in your pocket is way better. And the ability that we have to be able to take information that we know and get it up on our internet, on our websites. Be known as the expert. We talk about these things all the time in our masterminds across the country. I've got 6 masterminds across the country in DC, Chicago, Salt Lake, Dallas, and 2 in Las Vegas currently. And I think we've got openings in all but one of those. So if you're interested, please reach out to my assistant. Just email the assistant at theappraisercoach.com, the assistant at theappraisercoach.com. Thanks for joining me, folks.
You've been listening to the Appraiser Coach podcast with Dustin Harris. If you like what you hear, please give us a 5-star rating and post a short review on iTunes. For more in-depth insider information on how you can make more money as a real estate appraiser, visit theappraisercoach.com and sign up for the All-Star team today. Thanks for joining us. And now, get out there and create some value.